Hello and welcome again to Mrs. Wonderful's. Today I'm cooking some basic crepes, which is really exciting. Now, I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos, but I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mary Frances, and I'm here in my cafe in Northwest Montana, a little town called Polson. And I focus in on organic, local, non-GMO, really delicious food. I love to cook. You may have seen my daughter Diana. She does her wine of the day, which is really exciting. And the reason I always have a wine glass in my videos is because Diana has usually done her wine of the day, so I get to indulge in the wine of the day while I do my videos, which is great. I don't know if you saw it, but she did this fabulous champagne, which is pretty darn delicious. So that is why I always have wine in my videos. And as well, it's always fun to cook with wine. I love putting wine in what I'm cooking, and I love to drink wine as well. So that's always fun. So let's start in a little bit about basic crepes. I love crepes. Who doesn't love crepes? I mean, this kind of reminds me of when my children were little. I used to make crepes. And you can make savory crepes as well, but today, sweet crepes as well, but today I'm doing a savory crepe recipe. And as you can see down here, I've got some butter and eggs, because those are kind of the two ingredients we're going to need as well. We need some flour. And all the flour I use here at Mrs. Wonderful's, and of course in my kitchen, is 100% organic. You want to get organic flour. This is actually Montana grown wheat that's been made into flour, which is wonderful. Montana is known for some of the best wheat in the world, so it makes really great flour. So one of the reasons you want to use organic flour is because there would be no pesticides used or herbicides used on the plant. So you're getting just a wonderful, delicious product. And that's what I would start out with. So this is an easy crepe recipe. I'm going to use about a cup of flour. And actually next time we'll also do buckwheat crepes, because buckwheat crepes are so delicious, but I don't have any buckwheat flour today, so that's why we're not doing it. But we'll do that in a future video. And then you need about, I always use a little more milk than I do flour. So that's so with 1 cup of flour, we're going to have 1 cup of milk plus a little more. Plus I'm going to go about a quarter to third of a cup, maybe third of a cup of milk. And same thing with milk. Buy a good quality whole milk. I never use anything low fat. Full fat products are the best. They're the best for you, and they're going to make everything taste delicious. So you do want to use good milk, good whole milk. The milk I use here is called Kalispell Creamery, and it's a little dairy, kind of about 60 miles west of north of where I live in Montana, and they have wonderful products. And they're non-homogenized, so it's just really great milk. So anyway, so I've got a cup of flour, about a cup and a quarter of milk, and then you want eggs. So a lot of recipes I've noticed call for, I'm going to mix this together a little bit, my milk and my flour. A lot of recipes call for you to do this in the blender, and you can. I see absolutely no reason why you'd use a blender, but I guess if you're that concerned with it. But it's just like pancakes. It's just a thin pancake. So I'm going to put here, actually, these were 2 large eggs. One of them happened to be a double yolk, so it's almost like 3 eggs. But 2 eggs is perfect, or 3 smaller eggs. And just whisk it together. I also put a little bit of salt in my crepes. So Mrs. Wonderful's salt is the best salt in the world, and it will make everything delicious. And since this is a savory crepe recipe, I'm going to use my sea salt with fresh herbs. A little herb is just going to make this taste even better. So my salts come in a coarse, they're coarse salt that's mixed with fresh organic herbs. So you either want to get a sea salt grinder, or you can use the back of a wooden spoon and just kind of crush it, or you can throw it in whole too. I'm just kind of used to doing it this way, so I know pretty much how much I'm putting in there at the moment. So I'm going to mix that. Mixes up really easy, and then what you want to do is you want to melt butter. So just like an American pancake, you're going to put some melted butter in here, and that's really what's going to make it delicious. Now let's talk a little about butter. As you see down here, I have some eggs and butter. That is Kerrygold unsalted butter, which is like the most delicious butter in the world. Pasture butter that's made from milk from cows who are allowed to pasture, is the best tasting butter in the world. And I love using it. So it's always good to get good butter as well. So this is just kind of melting here. I got to get a little wooden spoon. So what else can we say about crepes? Oh, so if I were to make this in a sweet crepe, if I was going to make this for dessert, I would add a little bit of sugar and a little bit of vanilla. So like a few teaspoons of sugar and maybe about half a teaspoon of vanilla would make this perfectly suitable for a sweet crepe. So, and that's where you would fill it with things like ice cream or fruit or good things. And so here's my butter kind of melting. So this is 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to just add that slowly to my crepes. So now what you want to do is you want to let this batter rest. So I'm going to cover this and put it in the fridge for at least a half an hour or so. So here, I'm going to put this over here. I already have some that I've already made and had resting. So I'm going to put my pan on my heater there. So pan-wise, you can make this is probably going to make like a 6-inch crepe. This would probably make an 8 or 10-inch crepe. So it doesn't matter what size you want, but I kind of like the smaller 6-inch crepes. So I'm going to let this pan get hot. That's kind of important. Pan has to be hot for us to make a wonderful crepe. Okay, and so the other thing is, because of the butter in the batter, it's probably not going to stick, which is great. But I do like to take a little bit of a paper towel, a little bit of oil on it, and just rub my pan just a little bit so it has a little oil base to it. You don't want a lot of oil, but just enough. And just like regular pancakes, the first pancake is always a test pancake. So who knows, but you really need this to be hot. And I can tell that it's just not quite hot enough at the moment. I'm kind of used to cooking on gas burner, so this electric thing kind of throws me off sometimes. Anyways, while this is heating up, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my salts. So what I do is I take French gray sea salt, which is hand harvested on the coast of Brittany and France, and I mix them with fresh organic herbs. I have 3 delicious blends. They make everything delicious. I mean, I use them exclusively in my restaurant to make anything savory delicious. You can find them on my website, which is mrswonderfulworld.com. That's mrswonderfulworld.com. And they just are so, just give everything this herbal, little bit of an herbal complex, delicious sea salt flavor. I really recommend using those. As well, I have my garlic head. Garlic head is a barbecue sauce and a cooking sauce. You can mix it with wine or beer to kind of make a wonderful marinade, but you can also use it in lots of things, soups, sauces, stews, anything where you want a little bit of super concentrated tomato garlic flavor. So, so those are my fun products. Go check it out. I also have some pastry goods and stuff like that I also...
We have a question.
Yes. Oh, you have a question?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll take a sip of wine while I'm waiting for the question.
Lori asks, is there an advantage to allowing the batter to rest in the fridge instead of the counter?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Is there an advantage to allowing the batter to rest in the fridge instead of on the counter?
That's a great question. So the question is there an advantage to letting the batter rest in the fridge as opposed to on the counter? Lori, that is a great question. Now, I always put it in the fridge because I think it rests better in the fridge because you put your melted butter in there and you've gotten your lumps out of there, and the flour rests. And when it's cold. So yes, you would want to put your batter in the fridge for about at least a half an hour. So I have some this time I had in the fridge as well already. And so hopefully that answers your question. I don't know the exact science behind it, but I do know that you want to put that in the fridge. So this pan feels pretty hot. We're going to try our first pancake and see if it works out. Like I said, sometimes the first pancake doesn't work. But so what you do is you're just going to pour it on there. That's nice and hot. And you're just going to twirl your pan. Can you kind of see that? So there it is. Leave it on here. It cooks really fast. And I forgot to bring a utensil that I can use. A knife or something or anything I can turn it with, or fork. So Yeah, thank you, Diana. That's fine. So you'll notice, see how it's kind of bubbling up? So it's bubbling up, it's cooking up fast, and you'll see the edges just kind of lifts right up. Really wonderful. Oh, so delicious. The smell of a crepe cooking on a pan. I mean, it almost smells sweet. Isn't that unusual? Because it's just flour. And so now you just want to flip it. You can see it kind of has a light brown top to it. Great. And also, I forgot my crepes. Did I have my other crepes I was making somewhere? Thank you. So they cook really fast. That's the other wonderful thing. Thank you very much about crepes is they cook so fast. So that's fun. So I already have some that I've already started. And see, it's even in the pan. It's just completely non-stick. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to just put it right on to the pile of crepes. Oh my gosh, doesn't that look good? Should we make another one? Let's make another one. Okay. So I'll tell you one thing. These things go fast. They're so delicious that people eat them. Oh, so I should have said I'm using about, for this pan, I'm using about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of batter.
Do you have to oil it in between each?
You don't really. Once I've oiled the pan, it seems to be fine. You might want to, after maybe 3 or 4 crepes, rub it again with a little oil. But this is a really nice stainless steel pan. That's another thing we should probably talk about, our pans. Stainless steel pans are the best, really, or cast iron. I stay far away from aluminum pans. You won't even find an aluminum pan at Mrs. Wonderful's. I think we probably have enough aluminum in our system. We don't need more. And even though a lot of restaurants use aluminum pans, I think because they're light and they're cheap, food is going to cook so much better in a stainless steel. Nice. This is a nice, heavy stainless steel pan. So works out great. Look how beautiful that is. Again, I'm telling you, they smell like divine. So anyway, so I hope you had fun making crepes with me. The next video I'm going to do, I'm going to make filling and we're going to fill the crepes. I'm going to do a chicken mushroom, a delicious filling with a little Parmesan cheese on the inside. And so that's going to be our next video. But right now, you've got the basics of crepes down. You can go out, you can make crepes and drink champagne at the same time. What a great thing to do.
What else can you do with crepes? What else can you, other suggestions?
Well, a lot of things you can do with crepes. You can just fill them with, you can actually just put butter on them and eat them just like that, butter and herbs. But any kind of filling you can think of. It doesn't have to be a meat filling. You could just do vegetables, maybe in a little cream sauce, a little cheese. Always make crepes delicious. And of course, like I said, the sweet crepes as well, there's endless possibilities. You can do ice cream and chocolate sauce or just fruit fillings and all kind of things, and Nutella and all kinds of wonderful things. But we'll talk about that in the next video. So anyways, thanks for joining me. I'm going to put that with the rest of my crepes. And we'll see you at the next video. And remember, if you're going to make something, make it something wonderful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I have a YouTube channel, Mrs. Wonderful. You might have to find me there. I think there might be another Mrs. Wonderful, but I'm the Mrs. Wonderful who cooks. So like and subscribe and join us on Facebook. And we will see you next time. Salud.